This conference will now be recorded.
So anyone having any questions, feel free to ask. Any doubts, share your screen and we'll solve the questions, whatever you have so far.
This conference will now be recorded.
So your question is displaying the employee name and annual salary means year-wise salaries. So what is the salary in your organization? So here we want first try to display, select employee number on a employee name, comma salary from EMP. So you want to display employee number. So now we are displaying, what is the information we are displaying? We are displaying employee number, employee name and salary. So what is the question? You want to display the employee number and as well as annual salaries. So employee name, whatever column you want, employee name. This annual salary is not present in directly table, but we have salary column from EMP. So what is the information? You don't want to take the direct salary, you want to take the annual salary. For getting annual salary, how to get salary? If you multiply with 12, you are going to get the annual salary. So this annual salary is not there in the table. You are defining that logic in the select statement you are displaying based on existing columns. Now let's run this sal into 12. So you can do multiplication also in select class. Arithmetic operations also you can use. See, we got the annual salaries. Correct or not? So, but annual salary including commission also. So how to include the commission? So whatever columns you want to display, just you can select in the select class. So employee name, salary and commission, and one new column you define. See, all the columns data we got: employee name, salary, commission and salary into 12. That value also calculated. So 3000 into 12, how much? 36,000. Is calculating or not? So what is the formula for calculating annual salary? Salary plus commission into 12. So you need to add the commission also to that salaries. Then only it will become a annual salary. Now how we are doing that? We are going to add the two columns like salary plus commission. Okay. So you want to first you need to do the addition of these two. The result what you are getting, you are going to multiply with the 12. This is the formula for annual salary or not? Okay, yes or no? Now very important point. Let's see what is the result we are going to get. See the result. Why everything become null? What is the reason? It's supposed to be 2975 into 12. Why that result became null? So what's your understanding here? Anyone got what is happening here? Are you following? Are you following or not? This is very important point. So why this result is going to become null? So whenever you are doing any arithmetic operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, any kind of operation with the null value, the result is going to become a null value. That is the result is going to happen here. You observed or not? The same way come down. Oh my god, all the values are, see there is a value here. For Alan, the value is salary is there, commission also there. So 1600 plus 300 is going to become 1900 into 12. So that is 22,800. The values coming properly for the values which is not null. Here the values whenever it is going to become null, at that time the result is going to damage. So you are working for one organization, they hide you for a better SQL knowledge, they hide you in their organization. So your manager told you like, can you give me the annual salaries for each and every employees? Like that they ask you one requirement. So you are doing like this. You are sending this output to your manager. And based on this, he is going to share the appraisals or something. If you share like this, what is going to happen? What kind of information you are passing to your manager? Is it the valid information it is you are giving, or there is any problem? So if you don't know the knowledge properly, if you have the lack of knowledge, you are going to become a problem like this. You are going to create the problem like this. Immediately your manager see this data and immediately they will throw you out. What is this? This is the requirement I am asking. You are giving something else output. This is not correct. So make sure that whatever information you are sending, whatever you are preparing, make sure that you are giving properly. So what is the question here? So whenever you are trying to do multiplication or addition or subtraction with the null values, the result is going to become a null. Okay. So these situations we need to handle carefully. For that, we have some option in SQL to replace the null values with the actual values. For that, we are going to use one very important function that is called NVL. Okay. So what is the purpose of using NVL? Whenever you are going to replace the null values with the required value. This is the importance of NVL. So your commission is going to become a null. At that time you are going to replace the null value with the whatever value you want to replace. Okay. So how to use NVL? So I am taking another comma here. I am defining one more column, NVL of commission. This is the commission column, right? Whenever your commission is going to become null, at that time just replace with the 0. This is what the message you are giving in the NVL class. Whenever your commission is going to become a null, at that time you just replace that commission with the 0. That is what the syntax you are trying to do. Now let's try to run this. So whenever the values are null, at that time only it is going to replace, not every time. Check the result properly. See the result. Check the result for last column. So first row commission is null. The what is the result it is showing? It is replaced successfully with the 0 value. So all the values got replaced with the 0. Is it happening or not? But there is a value here 300. At that time this is not going to replace. This is just keeping as it is value. This is the importance of NVL function. Is it clear? So it's clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. So now we want to build this logic in our main logic. annual salary. So far we are getting as a null values. Now we are going to rebuild the logic for finding the annual salaries, like plus salary plus commission. Instead of taking commission directly, you are going to take the commission as a NVL commission. Commission, whenever null value is there, you are going to replace with the 0. So salary you are replacing with the 0, and then overall value you are going to multiply with the 12. That is the reason we are using braces properly. Make sure that you are giving the correct braces. Now understand this logic. You are going to replace with the commission values. Whenever it is null, it is going to replace with the 0. Now 5000 plus null value. What is it going to replace? It's going to replace with the 0. 5000 plus 0, result is going to become 5000 into 12. 60,000 rupees is going to get as a result. So this is the fix you are doing after your manager scolding. You are doing this fix, getting the information from the Google, and blindly you are solving, and you are thinking like you got the result, you are showing it to the manager. You are trying to impress your manager. So that is not work out here. Very, very important. Be careful what you are doing. Okay. Now let's run this. See the result. See the values. Now we are getting proper values or not. Salary is 2975, and that is going to null value replace with 0. 2975 into 12, 35,700 its came. So 3000 plus 0 into 12, 36,000 it came. So this is the how data is coming and showing as a exact result. So very, very important. Still some people get confused. So this null values it is going to update in the actual table, or just is going to display. Here we are not doing any update operation. Whenever you are doing update operation, then only data going to change in the actual table. Unless whenever how many times you are selecting the data is not going to change in the actual table. Very, very important point. Some people may get this question, sir, now we are replacing all the commissions with 0, right? That is going to reflect in the table. Why should it reflect? You are selecting the data, you are not updating the data. Select means just to visualize the data for your understanding purpose. The logic what you are trying to do, that is going to display here. That is the purpose of using select statement. So don't confuse, like whenever you do the alter and update, that is the actual changes is going to happen in your tables. Unless you are not doing those activities, you are selecting the data, it is going to just display according to the logic. Okay. So another important point here, see the column names, what it is showing. This is looking odd, right? So you don't want to looking this odd logic. So to replace that logic in the final display statement, we are going to use the as statement. So you can use your own alias name, dummy salary, dummy annual salary. So that column is going to display like this. Here as null replace, any name you can use. So here as original annual sal. So just to display the columns which is going to be more readable, at that time we are going to replace the column names, whatever columns you are defining here in the select statement. See the column names got changed. So these columns not there in the table, but you defined in the select statement. Is it correct or not? Dummy annual salary, null replace, original. You define those columns in the select statement based on the existing column names. You accept or not? So any questions here? This is very, very important point. we are going to replace the null values with the proper values. Sometimes salary also become null. We are not sure. Sometimes salary also become null. Your manager told like whenever salary become null, just replace with the 0. How to change the logic at the time? So here salary also you are writing NVL of salary comma 0. Is it correct or not? Accept or not? Any difficulty here? Any confusion here? Anything wrong going on? Yes or no? Please respond in chat window. I feel very happy. Even I am not feeling well, because of you guys' interest, I am conducting the class today. Please respond. Please utilize the opportunity what you are trying to learn. Don't confuse and try to respond as much so that I will get the clarity. If you
Yes,
keep
sir.
sitting ideal, I feel like you are just one directional learning is not going to help. Always bi-directional. You have to ask as much questions in chat window. I feel very happy to answer all your questions. Okay. If you are sitting ideal, again you are losing your time. Try to utilize the opportunity to grab the knowledge. Okay. This is clear, right? Now we'll go back and discuss about aggregation of data. So anyone got idea about what is the meaning of aggregation? So what is the purpose of aggregation? What is the meaning of aggregation? Just one or two sentences. Anyone tell?
Calculation of set of
What?
values.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you mean by aggregation? Can you give me any example? Why should we aggregate the data?
To summarize the data in the rows.
Okay.
To find the maximum value, to find the minimum value.
Okay. Yes.
So
anything
also,
else?
yeah, also can also find the average value.
Okay.
Sum of all the rows.
To get the single value.
Okay. Yeah, to get the single value. Yeah, good. So here we have some set of students in our class. So we have around 25 students listening our class. I want to aggregate data based on the gender. Okay. Based on the gender wise, I want to aggregate the data. Is it valid question or not? Gender wise, I want to find the number of students in my session. So here, what do you mean by aggregation? You are just grouping the data based on the gender, based on the column, and you are calculating something on that, and you are giving the output for each and every group. That is the meaning of aggregation, right? Yes or no? So you are aggregating data based on the any column in the table. Based on the business need, you are going to understand which column you are going to use to aggregate the data. Correct, right? We have department numbers. Each and every department, how many employees working? Each and every department, how many employees working in this your organization? So here we have employee number, employee name, different departments. So how many employees working in each and every department? 10th department, how many in your employee table? So how many can you quickly check and get me the update? So how many each and every department, how many employees in your organization? Quickly tell me. 10 department how many? 20 department how many? 30 department how many? So are you able to get that information? Just we have 14 records. Out of that, how many records are present in each and every department? You got answer or not? So you got question? So here let's assume this data. Let's try to understand this data. So just I simplified data with few columns. Just assume we have only 6 records here. So how many employees working in 10th department? How many? 4. 10th department how many? 20th department how many employees? So here we have 10th department, how many employees are there? So this person belongs to 1, 2, 3, 4. So all these people belongs to 10th department. So total what is the output? 4 records. So 20th department, how many? 2 records. So you are passing the multiple values as an input, but you are getting the output as a single value. That means you are grouping data based on what? You are grouping data based on the particular column. What column you are using? Department number. So 10th department, how many records is going to get the output? 10. So what is the output here? 10, 4, 22. So this is the department number and count. Correct, right? So how many groups formed here? Total 2 groups formed. From each group, it is going to return the value, one value as an output. That is called aggregation of data. So you can use any column. So let's say you want to apply aggregation on the salary. You want to group the data based on salary. So total how many groups is going to form in your data? Out of 6 records, how many groups is going to form? Can you tell quickly? So department wise, 2 groups got formed. But if you consider salary, how many groups form? Means how many different values, that many groups is going to form. That is correct, right? You are aggregating data based on salary, means if the same salary is there, that is going to come in the same group. If the different salary is there, that is going to come in the different group. Now, how many groups formed here? So 1000. So these two come under one group. This is group 1. So next 5800. This is come under second group. So next 800. This is come under group 3. And 100. This is repeated. That means this is 4. So depends on the column you are selecting, where it is going to split the data accordingly. Yes, sir. So how it is going to group the data? All the similar values is going to come under one group. All the different values is going to come under different group. So in your final output, whenever you group the data based on salary, total how many records is going to come? Total 4 records is going to come in the final output. So why? Because each group is going to return some value. What value is going to return? That we discuss later. That we don't worry about it. That will give something. First, understand the concept, understand the logic, how it is going to work. That is very, very important. So this is very, very important concept. That's the reason I'm stressing this concept. So don't compromise on your learning. Understand the concept with clear idea. So it's very easy for you to, once you understand this, it's very easy to solve any kind of questions in your interviews. Now, whenever you select the data based on the e-name, how many groups is going to form? Quickly, everybody should type in chat window. Whenever you want to group data based on employee name, you want to aggregate data based on employee name, how many groups? Everybody should type
Four
in
groups
chat.
will come, sir.
So, what are the groups? This is A, 2, 3, 4. Yes or no? In the same way, whenever you do aggregation of the employee number, how many groups? It depends on the column you are going to select, that groups is going to form. So, 1, 1. This is group 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. So, total how many groups form? Total 4 groups formed here. Correct, right? So, sometimes you can select the aggregation, grouping the data based on multiple combination also. Group of columns also, we can do the aggregation. Whenever you want to group data based on combination of employee number and employee name. So, total how many groups is going to form now? So, what are the different groups? 1, A come under one group. 2, B come under another group. 3, C come under another group. And 4, D come under another group. So, each and every group, 1, A, how many values? Say 2 values. Inside that group, how many values? 2 values. 3, C, how many values? Only 1 value. 4, D. This combination repeated how many times? 2 times. And 2, B repeated how many times? 1 time. Is it clear? Any confusion? Any confusion here? Any doubts? This is very, very important point. We are going to aggregate the data. We can aggregate data based on all the columns also. Now let's try to aggregate data based on all the columns. Let's try to aggregate data based on all the columns. Now tell me the groups. So combination of all the columns, like whatever columns are there, you have to consider all the columns. So values which is repeating 1A 1010. So any group come under this group. So this group 1, 2B 5820. How many groups? This is separate group. See here, third record intentionally I written like this 1A 1000, but I changed the last value. So above it is a 10. Now here it is showing as a 20. So this is also come under different group. Here if you have the value 10, at that time these two come under in the same group. Now the values are different. That is it's grouped as a different value. Now next 3C, this is also come under different group. Next one 4D 110. 4D 110. Repeated, right? All the values repeated. This group come under single group. So total how many groups? 1. So depends on the requirement. We have to ask based on what are the columns you want to aggregate data. Whether you want to take any specific column or you want to take all the columns. Based on that, we are going to do the aggregation. If any single value change at that time, any value, if you are reducing the column name, your output is going to change. So based on the data, what you are expecting, output what it is coming, based on that it is going to give the result. Don't worry about how to write this logic. First, try to understand the logic behind it. Everybody running for logic. Why should you run for logic? If you understand the data, how it is going to work in the background, logic automatically comes. So data can be anything. Whenever you are solving, you are attending interview, at that time interviewer asks data. First, we should understand the data. Then only we can solve the problem. Without understanding data, blindly you are telling something, so that even you are putting a lot of efforts, but the chances are very high to result. We have to explain the logic with the concept. Don't go with a blind knowledge and blindly you are writing something. At that time, everybody can understand. Either you are writing blindly or you are doing something. So, based on the way of presentation, based on the way of explaining your answer, your interviewer easily identify whether you are by hearting the answer, you are understanding the logic and presenting that. The way you are presenting the answer is also very important. How to suppose, let's say we have data like this. You have to take the example so that other person feel very happy. Otherwise, so chances are very high to reject your interview. Okay. Now, this is the concept behind it. Now we have some duplicate data in this table. Yes or no? What do you mean by duplicate data? What do you mean by duplicate data? So anyone tell what do you mean by duplicate? What is the duplicate data here? I want to know the record which is having duplicate record. Why no one talking? Everybody today monogratama. So just try to interact. Don't be calm. Try to interact. If you are talking as much, your knowledge is going to share that much. Don't hesitate to talk. If you keep hesitating to talk, again your success is going to delay one few more years. That is true. If you are forgetting everything, you want even correct or wrong, just you are talking right, you can count on your success. It's a 1 week or 1 month or 40 days. I can clearly say whoever having more interactive skills, whoever responding, their success rate is very high. If you still don't have capability, you can count down years, like it's a 1 year or 2 years. I don't know. There is no limit for say 3 years or 10 years also. Yeah, now tell me what is the duplicate record here? What do you mean by duplicate data? Why you are telling that record as a duplicate data? Quickly, who will tell?
The repeated data, Suresh. The data which is repeated again and again, that will be duplicate data.
So who will tell? So whatever data is repeating more than one time, so there is no person going to talk now. I think nobody understand what I'm asking. That is what conclusion I got. So whatever I'm trying to explain, you guys not able to understand. Is it correct, right? Yes or no?
Repeating the data one or more time will be the duplicate data. Suresh, are you able to
Yeah,
listen my
someone
word?
talking?
Yes, Suresh. Are you able to listen my word?
Sorry, your voice is very low.
The data which will be repeated one or more time, more than one time,
What about
that will be a
others?
duplicate data.
Swati, Pavita, Subhash, Mukunda, and
Yes, sir.
Chaitanya.
So the duplicate data is exactly what Raghav said. It's the repeated record.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So everybody, whoever got knowledge, they should explain. So that I am going to stop session now. Tomorrow we are going to understand the logic, but I need to understand the reverse knowledge from everyone. What you understand, what is the importance of aggregation? So what do you mean by duplicate data here? So everybody should talk about on a few seconds so that I can stop today and we'll continue in tomorrow's session. Quickly, you can share your knowledge. Why? Because this is very important concept. Everybody should understand. So if there is any gap, we don't understand in tomorrow's session. If you miss the today's session, tomorrow's session definitely won't understand. There's a lot of dependency between each and every session going forward. Make sure that you are not going to miss and share the whatever I'm asking. So just respond. Abhijit, what you understand?
Duplicate data is in same data repeated multiple times, as in the table. The last one is 4D100. It is repeated 2 times, so it is considered as a duplicate data. Same as in same values are there, but repeated 2 times. Hello.
Yeah. What about
So
Anil? So Anil, are you able to hear? Chaitanya?
Repeated data is considered as the duplicate, where all the data of the all the columns is same, repeated multiple times.
Okay. What about Dilip?
So repeated data will be duplicate data
So why we are calling the data as a duplicate data?
because of in department number there department name has a two same data 10th department. It is a duplicate data, and 20 department. No.
So all the values repeating in all the columns, that's the reason we call it as a duplicate. Okay, fine. No
Yeah.
problem. Yeah. Try to understand the concept. Yeah, Girvani. Are you sharing anything, Girvani? Guru Prasad?
Duplicate records nothing but repeating the same all column values with two more times. Means repeating of repeating more than one time.
Okay. Okay, fine. What about who is next? Jivan? Jivan, are you there? Okay, I'll come back. So I'm not forcing, it's opportunity for everyone to talk, improve your presentation skills. That's the reason I'm trying to help. So otherwise I don't have any issues. Okay, next, Kavita.
Repeating same data more than one time is called a duplicate data.
So what is the data repeating? Why we are telling this data as a duplicate?
Here salary is repeating 2 times.
Only salary or other values also?
Other departments also.
So why you are telling only salary then? So repeating all the columns data, only salary data repeating.
So I said salary and departments.
So all the columns data repeating, right? Employee number, employee name, salary. You are taking all the columns, not one column. Don't think like horizontally. So you have to think like this. This is the data. It is every date, every value is repeating. So this is entire row wise repeating more than one time. That is the meaning of duplicate. So why you are not telling this one is not a duplicate? This above record 1 Why this is not a duplicate? Why this record telling as a duplicate? So anyone tell? So here
Department.
one
Because department number is
a
different.
1000 repeating, but the department number is different. That is the reason we'll say like that is not a duplicate data. If any value missing in the any particular column, that is not a duplicate data. Is it clear? Yeah. Next, Lakshmi Sagar.
Yes, sir. Any record that matches the other record's data is called as a duplicate data. For example, in this data, what you are sharing, the fourth line item and the fifth line item are sharing both the same records. So, as they are called a duplicate data.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
So next, Manindra.
Sir, the data repeated any column value repeated more than one time, that is duplicate data. That's like
Okay.
rows.
Okay. So why this one is not a duplicate data?
It's not repeated more than one time, but the department number is repeated.
Okay, fine, good. What about MK ready? Get ready with your turn, whoever coming next, okay? Yeah, MK ready, you want to share or not? Okay,
Share,
I'm
sir.
just, yeah, please. You want to share?
Yeah, definitely share, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead. What's your full name?
Sir, Mallikarjun Reddy, sir.
Okay, yeah, proceed, Mallikarjun.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Don't delay, MK. Why you are delaying? Okay, I'll come back to you. So what about Mukunda?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Mukunda.
Yeah, can you please repeat the question? I lost my
What
connection
do you
in
mean by
middle.
duplicate data here?
The repeated data from the original data as the duplicate data.
Okay.
It includes
So why we
same
are telling
column
this,
numbers
this
and same.
particular row as a duplicate data?
Yeah, it has the same column data, the duplicate data, and it was repeated.
So why this one is not a duplicate?
Because department number was changed in those two data,
Okay.
so
Okay,
that
all
was
the values are
duplicate
same, but
data.
last column data got changed. That is the reason.
Yeah,
That is not a duplicate.
yeah, yes.
Okay, fine. Yeah, next Raghavendra.
Okay. The data which is repeated two or more times will be a duplicate data, which means the rows in every column which is repeating same data, that will be a duplicate.
Okay. Okay, all the values in the row should repeat. That is meaning of duplicate data. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Next, Sai.
If all the values in two or more rows are identical, then we call it as duplicate data or duplicate record.
Okay. If any one value is not miss a different value, then that is a duplicate or not?
No, sir, not duplicate.
Okay. So if you just remove the department number, you don't have any department number, just we have only 3 columns in your table. Only these 3 columns information only there. So then how many duplicate records is going to come in your table? So what are all the duplicate records? You are not considering department number. That means this is all these 3 values are same here until here. That means this is also come under as a duplicate. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So
Yes.
depends on the column you are taking. That is very, very important. Whatever columns you are considering, that is going to tell about duplicate. Okay. So what about Subhash?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Subhash, are you talking?
Yes, sir. I have already given my input for the duplicate records.
Okay, you already explained. That's fine. What about Swati?
Yeah, I will tell. All the columns which is displayed on a particular table related to employee number, which is repeated more than once, that is nothing but duplicate data.
Why you are telling only employee number? What about other columns?
That's what all the columns: employee number, employee name, salary, department number.
Number. Okay, good. So tomorrow we have employee table, right?
Yeah.
Employee table, you are going to insert duplicate data tomorrow session. By tomorrow session, how many records are there in your employee table? 14 records are there. So you are going to insert intentionally some duplicate records. Means whatever insert statement you are having, right? Just try to insert in your employee table should show 19 records. That means 5 records you are inserting as a duplicate records in the table. So wire records you are manually inserting the duplicate records will find the duplicate records with the help of our SQL knowledge. This is very, very, very important question in interviews. Without this question, there is no interview at all. Now you got the problem, right? You got some idea about duplicate records. You are creating data to get the duplicate records. Let's create the data for duplicate and try to display those duplicate records from employee table. You know the logic already. It's very simple logic, very straightforward logic. Just we need to try. That's it. Okay. Get ready with that question. I don't bother about whether you are going to sleep it or not. Just try to get the answer on your own and try to understand. Get ready with tomorrow's session. Very, very important session tomorrow. We have very nice use cases. People who are all very serious about learning things. It is going to change your knowledge. This knowledge is going to definitely help you to crack the very good interviews. No doubt in it. So make sure that get that seriousness and learn without hesitating anything. Grab the knowledge. Okay. So thank you guys. Thank you everyone. So we'll meet you tomorrow. You got the question for tomorrow. Hope you understand. Get ready with your data and we'll see your answer tomorrow. Whoever know the answer, share that answer personally to me, not in group. Okay. Everybody should important here. I am giving respect to each and everyone. We are not here to passing the time. We are here to shaping ourselves best. That is the agenda of this session. That's the reason I am trying to communicate each and every person. I'm asking everyone to start interacting with the crowd so that you get more confidence, you get more commitment to achieve your goal. If you keep hesitating, talking and communicating in the group, then there is no point of spending time here. Just aram say you can watch TV and enjoy your time. Don't waste your time unnecessarily. Okay, get ready. Thank you very much for your time. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.